Good morning, everybody. I am working with the February 2024 bargain bead box today. It is called Budding Romance Collection, and it has a lot of Malaysia jade in it this month, or dyed quartz. It has some really pretty tumbled rose quartz nuggets and excuse me, and a lot of really pretty stuff in it this month. I'm going to work with these pieces right here. These are the 6mm faceted Malaysia jade. These are the 10mm faceted, and our beautiful pendant. I'm going to use the chain, some of the bead caps. I have some jump rings laid out and some clamshells and a lobster clasp. I have some 16 gauge wire. I have 2 head pins and 2 eye pins. I know I reversed those, but that's what I have. I have some beading wire, and I didn't have any in gold, so I grabbed the copper because it's dark enough so that with these stones it will look okay, I think. It'll hide it pretty well. I actually already did these 3. I did all 4 of them. I had this whole entire necklace made, and when I went to edit the video, I accidentally deleted it. So I do have some components already made up, like these strands. I have my chain already cut. I know how many jump rings and stuff I need because, yeah, I've already made this once. So this one should go way easier, right? We'll see. If anyone would like to know how to make this looped pendant piece or link, stay tuned to the end. I am going to show how to do this. I had a request from one of my subscribers to see how it's made, so I will do that at the very end of the video. So stay tuned for that if you want to see it. And let me see, anything else I need to get out of the way? I don't think so, so let's just jump in. We are going to use 20 of these little beads per strand, and that's 4 strands, so that's 80 of them. That's pretty much your whole entire strand. I think I had 3 left. I would have, if I'd had 4 left, there'd been 21 on each one because I would have just used all of them. But it ended up being 20 on each strand. So these 3 strands already have 20 on them. I will do this last one for you and show you how to do it. It's obviously it's very simple. It's just clamshells on the end and strung up on beading wire. You can use wire guardians on the end if you'd prefer. I do not. Anyone who knows me knows that I fight with wire guardians way too much to bother trying to do them under camera. Maybe off screen I would try it, but I'm not going to do it on screen. So we're going to start with the component that you saw from the picture of the the little loopy piece that everything hangs from. That is a little component that I made when I forgot to get out my hammer and block. Just one second. Because we are going to hammer. So you're going to need a hammer and block or anything. I mean, I've used household hammers before and just put it on something solid and hammered before, so before I had a block. So, you know, if that's all you have, use that. But to begin with, we're going to take 16 gauge wire in this gold tone. If you don't have any and you go to get some, do not get it coated because we are going to hammer it and the hammering will destroy the coating. So you want one that's solid. You want it to be gold all the way, colored all the way through, not just a gold plated. So, and I'm going to need my nylon jaw pliers to give that just a little bit of a straightening, which I should have gotten out. Excuse me. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a, I really need to get a new pair. These are getting real bad. I do have some replacement jaw pieces, so I probably should replace them, but the pliers themselves got rusty and they're not, they kind of stick. So there's that. We get that straightened out a little bit. Let me grab a ruler. we're going to cut 4 inches. I'm going to cut it with my cheap ones because this is a very thick wire. I don't want to ruin my good ones. I am going to drop everything on the floor. I'm just going to give my ends a little bit of a trim just because they're kind of pointy and I don't want them to be sharp. Just to trim them off a little more flush. So for the component piece, get some stuff out of the way. I'm going to take and just start bending it kind of in the middle. That'll give you an opportunity to check your ends to see if you get them somewhat similar, because then you can adjust. You know, if this side's a little taller, push this side in. If this side's a little taller, push this side in until you get them pretty even. You should basically have a little horseshoe. Then you can take your round nose pliers. I say that like I know where mine are, but everything's falling on the floor today. And I cannot find mine. Oh, no, that's not them. I'm going to pause for a minute and find my pliers. And they were, of course, on the floor under my chair. This is why I tried editing my last one, which I ended up deleting accidentally. Alright, so we're going to just put in pretty much the wide part of your, and you can use bail making pliers or even a dowel, anything, just something to loop around. It's not going to get closed tight. We're going to leave that loop. You want to try to make them so that as you're closing it up, you're keeping your two lengths pretty even. It's really hard to do under the camera because I'm trying to show you what I'm doing, but this is a really awkward position. So I'm going to only do it that much just to show you it. You can pull on it afterwards to try to tighten it up a little bit more if you want. That works too. There we go. That's perfect right there. And then from this point, I'm just going to take my thumb and I'm going to start slowly giving it just a little arc. Kind of like that. I might have bent that a little too much there, but just a little arc on your thumbnail, on your thumb pad. So we have something like this. It looks like a little bit of, it kind of looks like wings. And then we're going to take one end, take our round nose pliers again, and just give it a roll just to close it up. Kind of want mine a little more open than that, I think. Adjust with it, adjust it, play with it, do whatever you want to do to get it to the size you want. But you just want it to come up and touch pretty much all the way up there. That one's a little wonky, but that's okay, it'll work. Same thing on this side. This is more how I wanted it. I wanted a little more teardrop like that, but check them, make sure they're about the same size. This one looks a little longer. It's probably because I didn't use as much in the loop. So I'm just going to adjust it a little bit more. That's pretty close. I did mess this one up a tad. I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. And it looks a little better. Still a little bigger than that one, I think, but let's see. Close enough. I'm just going to give them a little bit of an arc this way, because that's your front. Your front is going to be a little slightly domed. Alright, I'm going to hammer off camera, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Because this is my front, excuse me, I don't want to hammer this side because I don't want to mar it up. I want it to be kind of smooth, and the block will make it smooth. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm only going to put this portion on my block. I'm not going to put that cross section on there because I don't want to destroy it. And I'm just going to hammer this whole thing like that. I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing on this one, and I'll be right back. So this is what I have so far. You can see both sides have been flattened. If you prefer the look of the like the ridginess of the hammering, you can do that on the front side if you want. I mean, it's yours. You do how you want to do it. So the only thing I'm going to do now is, again, I'm going to roll it over and I'm going to do this loop. And again, I want to make sure that cross section is not on the block because I don't want to hit it. And I'm just going to hammer this part to match the other two. All right, and there we have that piece. And you can, you can tweak yours a little bit if you want. You can give it a little more curve or do it a little straighter. You can roll them this way if you'd like and have them go up. You can pull this part tighter, make your loop smaller. I mean, do whatever, works for you. This is your piece. Do it however you want. I'm going to bend mine just a little bit more because it did flatten a little bit when I hammered it, and I kind of like that curved look. So I think they come out pretty good. They're not exactly identical, but that's okay. Then you want to close it back up nice and tight. As tight as you can possibly get it, because we are going to be hanging jump rings off in this. This one I might need to trim that point off just a tad so it will line up with the edge a little more. Might have to do it off camera because I gotta get it closer to me. Oh, there we go. I got it. Let's see if that will help it close a little tighter. I don't know if it did, but it'll be okay. It's pretty tight. I don't think a jump ring's going to get through there, and that's the main goal. So there we have that. It's pretty simple. It's not, I mean, it's just bending wire. You do want to use a good heavy gauge wire. Like I said, this is a 16 gauge wire. I don't remember where I got it. Probably Amazon. I think I got 2 rolls, 1 gold and 1 silver. Came in a package together, and it was years ago. As you can tell, this is almost gone. So. Now for the fun part. Let's put it together. This is going to hang here. For this I am going to use these 6mm jump rings because I need them to be big enough to get over this hammered wire that we did. Just hook our... I think I want to double hang these ones this time. I didn't last time when I made it yesterday, but I think I do want to put double jump rings in it just for a little extra security. And where this is such a chunky piece of metal, I think it would kind of look nice with it. You don't have to if you don't want to, obviously. I didn't the first time. The one I took the picture of for the Facebook group is not double ringed, but I don't know. I get it on there and I might not like it anyway. We'll see. I actually do. I think I do like the double rings. So I'm going to do 2 on each of these when I hang my little dangly sides too. So I'm going to have to get out a couple more. A couple more of those. Make sure I get the right size here. A big old sorted mess laying on my desk here. hard to tell which one's which. I think that's it. Nope, that's too big. Yeah, I'll worry about it when we get to it. So now we're going to wrap these. I'm going to set this aside. Excuse me, this morning I'm a little phlegmy for some reason. We're going to take our ball head pins. These ones here are a 20 gauge. They're really strong. I can do these as a rolled head pin. I don't need to do what, like a wire wrap. So we're just going to pick up. I'm really going to need 2 for this one right at the moment. The other 2 are going to go on the chain. So we'll set those aside. And we're going to pick up a little bead cap. And I know these bead caps are very small for this particular bead, but I don't really want it to cup it and hide a lot of the bead. I just kind of want it to accentuate it. And I think it does really well. I think it's very, very pretty like that. And because these are a hard head pin, I'm just going to roll it. I don't need to leave any space because I'm not doing a wire wrap. Trim it off. Give it a roll. And there we go. Bring it in just a little more, I guess. And there's one of our danglies for the side here. Do the second one. Slid right off there. There, get that in there nice and tight. And now I will have to find another jump ring. Laid over here, they all look the same, but then I go to put it next to it, and it's a different size. I think I might have found one. That one? No, again, that one's too big. I may not do 2 jump rings on it. There we go. That's the right size, but the color looks really weird. It almost looks copper. But that's okay. I'm putting it on anyway. I'm going with it. I don't know why it's in with my gold ones. Flip. It's a gold, I guess. It's just a darker gold. It won't matter. For right now, anyway, it won't matter. Should I get it closed? And again, you don't have to put 2. I just thought it would look good because this is such a thick metal that it just kind of added a little more to it, a little more depth to it. Well, make sure you don't hook your other jump ring when you do that. You'll have them crossed. So there is this piece. A pretty little focal piece. I think it looks really nice. So the next thing we're going to need to do is you're going to cut 4 lengths of your beading wire. I went about 8 inches. You don't really have to go that much. Clearly these are only about 4 to 5 inches, so if you went 6 or 7 you'd have enough. I don't like running out. I don't like coming up short at the end. I'd rather have a little more than not enough. I'm going to try to straighten this just a smidge because you had a kink in it there. Doesn't really appear to have helped. I'm going to cut another piece. Don't like that one. So the way I do these is I just tie a knot. Everyone knows this if they've watched any of my videos. I tie a knot in one end. And this one is super easy to string on because there's no pattern. You're just simply putting on your 20 beads on each strand. And it will go pretty quick. This is such a pretty bead. I absolutely love them. I really hope to get some more of these ones. These are my pomegranates. Almost there. If I could see. I apologize for the way my fingers look. They've started to get really dry from the winter. And a little bit calloused, I think, from beading. Almost done. There. All right. Move that out of the way, move that out of the way. Bring in my clamshells. Get a few crimp beads out. So we're going to drop on, excuse me, drop on a clamshell, pick up a crimp bead, find the right pliers, give it a good smush, pick up another one just for extra security, and give it another smush. Trim that piece off. Close it up. Don't smush it. Don't crimp it. Dent it. Whatever. And open up our clamshell a little bit more. Drop that on there. Pick up the crimp bead. Let gravity do its thing because you want this to be very fluid. You don't want to push down on it because then it's stiff. You want it very fluid. So just let gravity do its thing. Grab your little bead there with the tip of your pliers, right where it sets, and give it a pinch. Pick up a second one. Give that one a pinch as well. Trim it. Trim it, close it. Glue it if you want to glue it. And then you have 4 of these done. Get those crimp beads out of the way now. Okay. And I used the natural curve of that beading wire from where it was wrapped around the spool to kind of give them a necklacey laid look. They are going to straighten themselves out in time. Gravity is going to pull on them, and in time they are going to straighten. But for right now, I went ahead and did it like this. Alright. Now on these ones I'm using the 4mm jump rings because I kind of want them to disappear in the whole thing. I mean, the clamshell's already adding so much bulk to that area that I don't really want a whole lot of jump ring in there. If you want to do it differently, of course, that's your prerogative. So let's get these ones out of the way for a minute. And right here at the top of this, you want to make sure that your dangle is on the bottom and your ring is on the top. Close it up. And I've already used these jump rings once, so when I tore it apart, I just reuse them. I'm just going to reuse them, so they might be a little wonky now. So again, we're going to put another one in right beside it. Open it a little more, I guess. Well, there. That just went flying, and I do not know where. Oh, right there, I guess. Not too far away. There. It should work now. I've opened it up plenty. There we go. All right. Now, looks like a hot mess, but it's getting there. So there we go so far, like that. And do the same thing on this side with the other 2 strands. Sounds like we have a very happy blue jay out there this morning. It feels like spring today. The past 3 days here have been amazing. It feels like spring in the air, and it's been so nice. It makes me want to go outside and garden. I'd be gardening in snow, though. It's so nice when you can start feeling spring in the air and you hear the birds and the squirrels are starting to do their chattering, and it's really nice. It didn't close very well. Get up here. Get up here where I can see you. Yeah, these jump rings are not so good now that I've already used them once. They weren't that good to begin with. As we all know, my jump rings are junk. I didn't curve this one out as much as my last one, so it's not setting exactly the same one I made when I did the video the first time. These are a little more, them ones are a little more curved. I think I'm going to try straighten them just a little bit. Probably end up losing everything, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think it helped at all, so it's just the way it is. It's just the way this one got made. They're all going to be a little different. That's okay. Hangs the same. That's the beauty of handmade. They're all going to be a little bit different, a little unique. When you make yours, you're obviously not going to be filming, and you're not going to be trying to go under a camera, and you know, you can use your block probably a little easier, or whatever you're hammering on, so you can just take your time, work it slowly, you know, form it how you want it, and tweak it. It's still just as pretty as it was. Alright, that section is done. Now, alright, because I've already made this, I've already got my chain cut. I cut 4 lengths of chain, and they're 1/2 inch each. Try to lay it up and show you here. And there goes some more tools. They're 1/2 inch each. If you're using the chain from the box, it is, I think, 6 links, maybe 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 links. All right. And I don't know what I just did with the rest of those jump rings I had. Evidently, I mixed them back in. But I'm going to need 4 small jump rings for this. As well. I'm going to add 1 chain link to each one of these little strands. One. And 2. Number 3. My original plan for this was to use head pins and do the simple loop on every single one of these beads. So that's 80 beads. That would have been 80 head pins, 80 simple loops. I have a one-step looper. I could have done it, but I decided not to. I decided that this was going to look just as pretty. And I wouldn't have to, I was going to do like a cluster, you know, just cluster them all on with the simple loops. But, yeah, I didn't feel like doing that. But that's an option if you'd like to. So at this point, when I originally planned this, I did not plan to do anything other than chain the rest of the way up. But when I was filming it the other day, I thought how pretty it would look just having, you know, a bead here, or even a chain of beads, you know, like put 1/2 inch links in between another bead, and then again and again. You could do it so that it gets increasingly smaller, or do a pattern, or even mix in some of your other beads at this point. Or you could just simply do it with chain, you know, just add chain at this point and call it good. But I did decide to add the 2 other beads, and then I decided that was plenty. I wasn't going to do anything more fancy than that. I thought this was what I wanted people to focus on, not the chain area up here so much, and I thought it would probably detract from this. So I'm just going to take a ball, eye pin, not a ball pin, and pick up a bead cap, pick up my bead, if I can find the hole, and another bead cap, and I'm just going to do it exactly like we did these ones here, only it's going to be with a loop on each end rather than the ball on the end. Cut that down. I'm pretty sure it was my round nose that went on the floor again. It certainly was. And just bring that in nice and tight. We're going to put one there. I'm going to move my hammer and stuff out of the way because it's taking up so much space. That's why I'm knocking stuff on the floor. Alright. Do the second one. Came out real terrible. Let's try that again. Alright. Now, not the prettiest one, but it came out okay. It's usable. And then at this point, I'm just going to open the loop that I just made and string on the outer strand. Right onto the chain, and then the inner strand. You want to make sure you don't cross these, because if you do, they'll be, you know, they're not going to lay right. Make sure it's closed up tight. And same thing on this side. I don't know why my voice keeps going up. Sorry, it probably sounds really annoying. I'll try not to do that. It's not closed up tight, I can tell. And again, make sure we don't cross them. Get it on there. Come on. There we go. There. Getting there. Alright, so now we need to, yep. I just went to pick up a jump ring and totally lost it. I need one for the lobster clasp. So now all we need to do is add the chain. Isn't that pretty? Gosh, that's really pretty. I love these beads. They're just so beautiful. A cat here stuck to my pendant. So I cut 2 lengths of chain for the back. I cut mine at 4 inches each. Again, it depends on where you want yours to hang. My pendant hangs just about at my breastbone. I don't like them to hang real long. But if you want it, you do what you want. If you want it even shorter, do it even shorter. If you want this to hang just at your collarbone, that would be really pretty too. So I got the wrong side of my ruler. So stretched out, this is 4 inches. I know it's kind of lumped up right now, but it is 4 inches. So there we go. 2 of these. And again, we're just going to open up the little loop at the end here. If I get the right side. Come on now. Feet on one end of chain. Come on. I don't know if I'm even in screen here for you. Sorry. Not that I've accomplished anything. Try to loop that and it doesn't want to go. I certainly have it opened up enough. It's just that these links are teeny tiny. It's a very dainty chain. There, we got it. Close that up good and tight. Do the same thing on the opposite side here. Where's the side? Right there. Nope. It always looks like the right side and it isn't. Alright. So there is the chain on. Let's see if we can get this all entangled here. And I just lost that one, so I did not have that jump ring tight. I should have grabbed new ones instead of the ones I'd already used, but that's okay. If I end up having to take it apart again to reshoot the video, I will get new ones out. There is everything all done. Let's turn you around here. Get untangled. Oh my gosh. That just came off too. Alright. Okay, so I had to take a little brief break and make myself a cup of coffee. Get myself back under control because I'm getting frustrated with these jump rings. It's all good now. Coffee has made everything better. Alright, so I'm just going to replace that jump ring entirely because, like I said, they are ones I already used, and I did try to reuse them, and we're just going to get a new one on there. We'll take that one off. They're just a little too wonky now. They don't want to close tight. Get rid of that one. Put it in the trash. It's all good. I try hard to make sure I use these the right way, but just not my natural inclination to hold them this way. Make sure I'm closed, and I am. So all that's left now is to add my jump ring. I mean my jump ring, the big jump ring for the lobster to clasp into. I think I need more coffee. And the opposite side, we will put on the Don't even have to say it. And we are done. So there you have it. Get my little component here hanging around, but there we go. And there it is. Very, very pretty. I like it. I think my first attempt came out a little better than this one, but there is the gist of putting it together. I probably will switch everything back over to the one I made originally, because I do like it a little better than this one. I like the way it hung better. But again, when you make yours, just, you know, take your time. Get your loops even, you know, get the curve the way you want it. Again, like I said, you can curve those up so they're pointing up instead. I mean, so that from this point, when it goes across, you go straight up. It would be just as pretty. You know, you don't have to come down this way with it. Matter of fact, I think I have one here somewhere. Yes, no, maybe. That I had made when I was messing around with these ones. What did I do with it? Dang, I have no idea where it is. Oh, here it is. So this is a little bit of a different shape. You could do something like this instead. And I was originally going to use this shape, but I'm going to use it in something else now. I'm going to use it with my rose quartz. So there you go. There is the general idea of how to make it. Where you go with from here with it is entirely up to you. You know, play with your wire, bend it, give it some different shape. You know, you could actually go up again and make a whole nother loop and keep going. And then you could have like a 5 dangle section. That'd be really pretty. You know, make them a little closer and add 5 and go up. That's an idea too. So, you know, have fun with yours. Play with it a little bit. I am going to show you how to make this now. And again, I am working under the camera to make it. It's not going to come out perfect, but I will show you how to do it. And then when you make yours, you will know how. When I did mine for the necklace and the last box, I think it might have been December's box. No, it was January's, because it was the space theme. I used 18 gauge, but I'm going to use 20 to show you, because it'll bend easier for me underneath the camera and everything. I won't have to struggle so hard. So I'm going to leave it right on the spool. Just pull off a section, but leave it on the spool, because everybody is going to make them differently. And so there's no measurement that I can give you for it. All you're really going to need for tools to do this is your round nose pliers, something with no teeth. You don't want any teeth on it to hold. You can use that, or you can use your you know, these little, the word is escaping me at the moment, nylon, there we go, nylon jaw pliers. And that is really it, other than a cutter to cut your wire at the end. So to get started, oh, snow is just sliding off my roof. You'll just start by making a loop at the end. You don't want it closed because you do need to get a jump ring in there to hang, you know, so you don't want to go way down to your tip. You want space there to hang your jump ring through at the end. So it's just like when you're starting to make a head pin or an eye pin, do the same idea, only you're not going to straighten it back out afterwards. You're going to keep rolling. This is where your tool comes in handy because you can hold on to it and get those spirals started. And just start spiraling it. And you do have to hold on to this piece pretty tight because it's going to want to move on you. So probably the nylon jaw would be better. I usually use my fingers. It does start to flatten your wire a little bit from holding it. So I think that's plenty. That's what, 2, well, maybe I'll come back around so it's actually a full 3. It's going to be a little big, I think. That's okay. So after you've gotten your rings on there, wire is coming this way now. Bend it down just a little bit more because you're going to kink it back. And there's no measurement for it, just kink it back. You know, you don't want too much space, but you want enough because your other coils are going to start here and they're going to come down to this one now. So once you've kinked it back, take your round nose pliers like you would if you were going to do a the loop to start like a wrapped loop. You're going to bring it around over the top of your spiral, not underneath. You want to be on the top side, not the back side. So that you have this. Kind of looks like a little music note. And again, you want to grip that and just start spiraling. Now, when you spiral, see, I just flattened that one because I gripped it too tight. That's why I usually use my fingers. When you spiral, you're moving the component. You're not moving your wire. Yeah, I'm going back to my fingers. So you want to keep them tight. You know, you want to try to keep your loops as close to each other as possible. It's not real easy for me to do underneath this camera, but if I was doing it, like holding it away from the camera and closer to my eyes and whatnot, it would be a little easier for me, but anyway, just keep spiraling it. And there is no count. I mean, you just do what looks good to you or how big you want it. And that one's come over this one just a little bit, so I'm just going to push it back. This one's going to come out a little wonky. So, I have just crossed over this one. Just enough to kind of hide that little tail that I made when I went back up. So I'm going to go back up to the top. This is so loose. I'm really sorry. I'm not showing you very well, but you'll take your time when you do it and it will come out way better. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to kink it back the opposite direction. Again, try to get this under the camera so you can actually see it, but it's just not enough room. Again, we're going to come back, rolling it over the top of what we're doing. You can tell the back is going to have these. The top is not. The top is not going to show that. So, again, we're doing the same thing. Try just doing it with my fingers here. This is a little harder with 18 gauge wire, obviously, but that's why I went with this 20 to hopefully be able to show you it easier. It doesn't stay in shape as well as the 18 gauge though. Just take your time, work it into place. You know, if you like, this one came out very loose down here. If I was doing it to actually use it, I would have stopped at that point, pulled it back, brought it back again to get it tighter. But you want this one to be just a little bigger than the middle one. The middle one's going to be a little bigger than the bottom one. You need a little more wire. This is why I say don't cut it off the spool. Alright, now that one just covered that one. And you can bend it around a little bit and straighten it out. So now that I've got to this point, I'm going to take and cut off my wire. And I'm going to try to get it out of my way. And I like to bring it down, try to bring it in between. I probably shouldn't have cut out quite so much. Try to bring it down in between these two and bring it back up. And I did cut off too much, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Leave yourself a little more than that. But that helps to lock it into place for you. And you just want it to be coming out the top. At this point, you can take your nylon jarred pliers and give it everything a good smush. Get it all, you know, take your time, make sure everything's laying correctly. Make sure you don't have wires overlapping each other. You know, if it looks a little curved, like mine looks a little curved, you can pull it back into place a little bit. And then I'm just going to kink this like I would for any simple loop. I don't need to trim it because I didn't leave myself enough. Well, actually, it might be a little big, but. And then I'm just going to roll it like I would any simple loop. Yeah, I could have gone a little shorter, I guess, but that's okay. And there you have it. It's not the prettiest one, but that is the steps to making it. You could do 4 of these all the same size and then give them a little bit of a curve. You know, add a link on either end and make a nice little bracelet piece for it. There's a lot of ways to use it. This one is how I did it. I took, you can tell these are totally different. This one is so loose. But I just took 2 of them like this and put jump rings in here and added the rest of my stuff. A chain from here. And that was how I finished off mine. And you see the back and the front. Totally different. I actually kind of like the back design a little bit too. But yeah, just, you know, just pull some, you know, twist some wire and come up with what you can come up with and have fun with it. Like I said, 4 of those in a line with loops on the sides will be a beautiful bracelet component, and that might be something I do right off soon here, actually, because I hadn't thought of that until now, and I think it would look really pretty. So stay tuned. I will put that necklace on a form and show you it. Thanks. And here we have it, all hanging nice and pretty. So thank you for joining me for this tutorial. And if you're interested in joining the Bargain Bead Box and getting your monthly subscription full of beautiful gemstone beads, crystal beads, glass beads, findings, it's a beautifully curated box. You will receive it every month. It is $22.99 a month. And if you put in your code SHAR2 at the time of ordering, you'll save $2 off in your first box. You can also shop in the sister store, which is Bead Box Bargains. And again, you can use the code SHAR2 and save $2 off in your first purchase through the store. If you do become a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you will get a 30% off coupon code every month. And you can use that code over and over again for the whole month. In their sister store, their prices are already super discounted, and then you get the 30% off. You can't beat that. And it's a great place to get all your little extra findings, your ear wires, your pins, all that kind of stuff, bead caps, everything you'll need to coordinate with your monthly boxes. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all being here with me. I hope you liked this tutorial. I hope you liked the demonstration for the little link, and hope you all have fun making yours. Bye, everybody.